Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Final Fantasy VII Remake playthrough. We're still making our way up to the Sector 7 plate. And there are sentry guns.
Hey, see, Tifa's looking forward to it.
Wait, where did she go?
Further back.
You know, standing right in direct line of fire of that sentry gun.
No, but it's like, let's do this. Go get him, Cloud. Just hides in the sidelines.
Was she, like, doing her idle pose?
I mean, she is also taking sentry gun fire to the face while wearing, like, her gym gear. So, you know. I mean, granted, yes, this is JRPGs, and JRPG armor doesn't make sense, period.
You say gym gear. I just say casual attire.
I mean, there's, like, this is, like, trying to look sporty at the gym, because it's, like, you know, a sports bra, tank top.
Besides the Walmart dress and the cowboy outfit, the cowgirl outfit, has she worn anything else?
There's that Advent Children outfit where she's just wearing, like, a jacket.
You see, that's more casual Friday sort of spiel.
In Advent Children, she's dressed up like edgy goth Renoa or something. I don't know.
Yeah, see, like, if it weren't for the skirt, that would just be a gym outfit to me. Like, the skirt's really the only thing. I guess the suspenders are also a little weird, but I guess they're
The stockings are also...
well, there's also, like, the armored...
Well, they could be, like, leggings. People wear leggings to the gym.
There's also, like, the armored elbows and punchy gloves.
Look, I'm just saying... Oh, well, maybe not...
Bright light.
Well, it could be, like,
Christ,
her
flashback.
playing handball at the gym or something. They've got, like, arm guards for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, arm guard, sure, but, like, elbow guard?
Yeah, you do elbow guards for certain things, like if you're playing No, that we had shin guards for soccer. Elbow guards are more of a hockey kind of thing. But, like, floor hockey is a thing, you know?
Okay, I'm just trying to see if shoulder guards or elbow guards would be necessary for handball, to use your example from earlier.
Well, I don't know the rules to handball because it just kind of feels like a bunch of sports all smushed together. Granted,
I just smack a ball with my hand.
80% of all sports are just get ball into ball place. You know, football, soccer, hockey, golf.
Is that your pick? Is that your pickup line for sex?
Well, I was going to say put the ball in the hole, but like soccer and basketball, it's not really a hole so much as it is just like a net. Although I guess you could theoretically for basketball call it a hole, but it's like kind of the world's
It is a hole, yeah. You're going inside the rim.
It's only like a half an inch deep, and then it falls out the other end. Like when you were a kid and you thought if you dug a big enough hole, you could make it to the other side of the world. I'm not the only one here who tried to do that, right?
For a time, I used to think that if I went to the sewers, I would meet the Ninja Turtles.
Did you think about the several diseases you would get down there?
No, I was a kid.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was
I want
interesting.
a JRPG for when you go into the sewer section. If you get injured down there, you come out with gangrene.
I don't think I'm ready for an RPG with that attention to detail. Although I say that, and you know, obviously I've not played every RPG known to man. There could be several thousand.
That's something that's something Kojima would do.
If we're looking at modern day gaming, gamers demand that kind of attention to detail. We must have our horses' testicles contract and expand depending on the local weather. This is a necessary feature.
Good old Rockstar.
If you can't tell, I'm being facetious. It's not a necessary feature. Please don't get me gangrene in the sewer.
Are you sure you're talking about the ball going to the ball place earlier?
I mean, they like detail, but not necessarily inconvenient detail.
Well, I'm making fun of Red Dead Redemption here because that
I'd
was
say
a
it depends on what the game is trying to push in terms of realism.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, I don't think in Red Dead Redemption they added much in the way of detail that would hinder the player. Like,
I haven't played it. I couldn't tell you for sure.
It's really just that it's mostly time waster stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Busy
It's
stuff.
like sure it doesn't hurt it doesn't like ruin the experience, but it's like you could have cut this out and just saved everyone time.
And your employees dozens of weeks of crunch time.
Oh
but,
no,
you know,
it's happening. Oh no. Jesse, no.
Lowe's is watching his stocks fall. Oh, and Jesse too, I guess.
I like this scene though. Like Jesse is so used to being a badass, and she can't see the whispers. So they're just gathering behind her as she's taunting the enemy Devil May Cry style. It's like, oh man, this is going to be embarrassing. So, how did she actually die here? That's the question I have, because we don't hear.
Wait, is she
gunfire.
already dead?
The Whispers basically got in the way of her grenade throwing.
Yeah,
Blew it up in her
she
face.
just got critically injured by that grenade. I'm only assuming that the Whisper's batted the grenade back to her.
Yeah, that's what I have to imagine that's what had to have happened, because like we saw her throw the grenade and we saw it fly like a significant distance away from her.
They just, like, you know, hit it back like it was a baseball. No biggie.
Exactly. Ball going to ball place.
Well, no, they see baseball and,
Goal.
like, tennis are the exceptions to the sports rule because it does involve a ball, but you're not trying to put the ball anywhere specific. You're trying to stop the other team from running around.
No, I
in
would say if you're a
circles.
batter, you're trying to put the ball over the benches.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to go over the bench. There's no predetermined ball spot like in most of the other sports. It just needs to be away so it doesn't touch you. Look, I didn't invent this. These are real sports rules, all right?
We should make up our own sport and just be as stupid as possible with it.
Yeah, sorry, we'd be called a Calvin and Hobbes ripoff. Because
Yeah.
God forbid we repeat a joke that's been in a comic strip going on for 30 years.
Simpsons did it.
Yep, Simpsons did everything. Simpsons are so bad they're repeating themselves.
Man, I can't believe that we're such a ripoff of that episode where Bart made a game commentary channel.
Knowing The Simpsons, it's probably happened.
I have not kept up with The Simpsons in years.
Same here.
For all
but
I know, there is a Let's Play episode or a live streamer episode.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they have nothing better to do at this point than just, you know, comment on the topic of the day. They've basically become Family Guy at this point.
You see, when I think of commenting on the topic of the day, I think of more South Park than of Family Guy.
Man, you know, the Simpsons Family Guy crossover was kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think anybody expected much.
Speaking of South Park, though, I got reminded of, you know, the episode where Cartman buys the amusement park and doesn't let anyone in?
Sure.
John would probably remember. But,
Vaguely.
vaguely. But, just the other day, Nintendo of America tweeted out the whole, you know, Universal Studios Japan is opening Nintendo World in a few weeks. I'm like, oh, it's just the Cartman commercial where he's bragging about how he has his amusement park and no one's allowed in.
At least it's not that malicious, unless if all of the Mario rides and Mario mascot characters stop being in the amusement park after March 31st.
Oh, yeah, it's only open for a few weeks and then it closes on March 31st.
Sucks to be you. You should have been there in time.
Sorry, we can't fly out of the U.S. right now.
Is it just me, or have the enemies started ignoring the character that I'm in control of whenever I try to set up a counter?
Well, there's an aggro meter underneath the hood of the game. It usually takes the enemies a few seconds to kind of change aggro depending on what
But, like,
your character you're controlling.
Yeah, there's animation locks, from what I understand.
they end up...
The enemy has to finish what they're already doing before they switch targets.
But, like, I switch the character I'm in control of, and then, like, several seconds after that, they switch their aggro to Tifa. And it's just like, why?
Honestly, I appreciate that because there's plenty of games where you have a character who is like supposed to be drawing aggro. They're the tank type character. It's like, okay, I have drawn the aggro. Time to switch to my mage character to do lightning bolts or some shit. And then, as soon as you switch characters, the game knows, oh, you're controlling the mage characters. Let's have everyone ignore your tank character and come rushing to you. And it's always really annoying. So I'm glad that the enemies don't know what character is in main control. Because it's never a good feature.
Just use your limit. You can't bring it to the next battle.
I'm trying to wait until they're actually in range of it.
Limits actually don't matter for the most part. Never mind, I was wrong.
Oh.
He just whiffed.
I was gonna say, in every instance, I've never seen it really whiff.
Like, with airborne enemies, it will, unfortunately, except for Barret. Barret has, like, a huge explosive wide area of effect with his.
It's also long range.
Yeah.
Lewis, heal more. Use your better healing, please. You're making me nervous. Oh, never mind. You died.
Oh, finally.
Don't worry about it.
I was tired of being on the edge.
Don't worry
You were
about
using
it.
like your heal 12 potions, and you're at the very end of the game.
That's because Tifa has the item master materia that increases the effect of those things.
Yeah,
And
okay, so now you heal 16
and pretty
of
soon
12.
she'll have an accessory that further increases the effect of
Hey,
those
at
things.
extra 4.
You're
Speaking
only
as
healing
someone who
700, you have 3,000
Speaking
health.
of someone
That's-
who survived on
That's
single
because
digits.
I used it that's because I used it with Cloud that time. I got
Listen.
980 out of Tifa just there.
Listen,
that's without
just
the
heal to
accessory.
full. You've got more than enough.
No, I'm gonna get fully healed for the boss fight.
No, you see, this is Lewis's summoning ritual for a 8 remake.
Oh, so you're
because-
gonna waste those hit points if you heal now, is what you're saying. Okay.
No, he's staying at low health so that he can trigger limit breaks better.
Look, I don't want to waste my mega potions, okay? And I don't have
you've
MP
got
for healing magic.
75 of them.
No, I
Well,
got
I
75.
want 76.
I've got 85 regular potions. I've got like 10 mega potions. I don't want to waste those.
Yeah, mega potions are fairly rare.
I'm out of MP, then use an ether. But you can't buy ethers. It's the final battle, but I've only got 83 of them.
Fucking, how does that creep up in every RPG that I play?
Honestly, trying to not hoard my items is an RPG habit I've been working on breaking. And let me tell you, it makes RPGs a lot more fun when you use your items. Like Paper Mario, did you know that stuff like the Sleepy Sheep and shit and the Dizzy Dial are actually good and useful items? I didn't know until like 2 years ago because I would always throw them away to hoard these mushrooms that I would never use. So yeah, it's like once I started actually using items in RPGs, it was Shin Megami Tensei 4 that really taught me to do that. I started enjoying my RPGs a lot more because guess what? Those things are made to be used.
Yeah.
I'll give Dragon Quest this, though. One thing that I really took for granted, well, not so much take for granted, but like really took advantage of was the fact that, you know, because using items for magic spells and other effects has been a long time thing in RPGs. Final Fantasy had its fair share of it, but Dragon Quest I really got a lot use out of it.
Yeah, so I like it a lot in Dragon Quest as well because it's one of the only instances where games use the system where each of your characters have their own separate inventories, which is a pain in the ass to manage, yes, but it is a neat layer of strategy to be like, okay, I've got the I've got the Sage's Stone on Carver, so only he can use it, which adds a little bit of extra depth to the strategy. And thankfully, newer games have just a general bag, so you're not limited to just 4 characters worth of inventory space, which I think was probably the big thing that people didn't like, was when each character could only hold 8 things, and then all of the extras just got left behind, and trying to move things between characters was a pain in the ass.
A lot of busy work, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jessie looks really great for getting caught on the book grenade.
Yeah, she's like in one piece and everything. That's not how
It's
that
okay,
works.
she just has some dirt on her.
I
Just
think it's just some dirt, no blood whatsoever, which is why I think people think she's still
Well,
alive.
all right, there is a thing you have to be aware with Japanese games in the modern time anyway. They don't like to see people in pieces over there. It's a religious thing. So
yeah, I mean,
Well, okay, pieces, sure, but you can bloody her up, though.
yeah, you could have like a cut on her face, some blood running
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
I don't
they
think
could.
you could make it look more realistic that she was caught in an explosion and not even budge the teen rating a little bit. Is the thing.
I'm not sure about that. But
Because I know Japanese culture has more discretion towards gore.
yeah.
I think about Resident Evil 2 Remake and how they worked around that for specific cutscenes. But if you want to convince me that this is supposed to be fatal, you need to have blood. Dirt doesn't do anything for me, which is why I think that she survived this.
She just looks like she was at a mechanic shop for a couple of hours.
She is no worse for wear here than Biggs was earlier in the cutscene, and he ended up living.
Yeah. Like,
Speaking of that, though, I have a theory. I think Yuffie is running around here somewhere.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think Yuffie might be
Yeah,
the
they
explanation.
explain that
Huh?
for Biggs.
For why Biggs survives.
For why Big survives, yes. Like,
That would be an interesting layer to things.
Yeah. I mean,
The Whispers remembered that she's an optional party member, so they assume she's inconsequential to the main plot. If that's the actual explanation, that would be brilliant.
Now you see the Whispers try to stop Yuffie, but they keep asking the wrong questions, and they fell for that fake save point. So Yuffie keeps getting away.
She was such a pain in the ass to get in the original game. And
They encounter
Are you
her,
talking
she
about just
steals
like
over.
just encountering her in general?
yeah, just like I didn't know what to do it. It was
okay.
It was
Yeah.
cryptic and annoying.
No, so Yuffie encounters the Whispers before they beat this part of the game, and instead of stopping her, they just kind of look around awkwardly, and all their materia is gone.
the answer is simpler than you probably think it is, Ted. Basically, just don't do anything that ever takes your eyes off Yuffie's character model. So anything that causes the screen to fade to black is going to result in her running away.
Even opening the menu.
Yeah.
It's just it's weird though because like you could just not run into her at all is also the thing. Like
Yeah.
if the random encounter.
Well, the likelihood of you running into her increases the further you travel into the game. The lowest is the first forest you can find in the
Yeah, I
game
didn't
after
actually
you
know
escape
that, because I
Midgar.
always got
Wait,
it.
so will you run into her like as a random encounter even as far as like disc 2?
Before your first trip to Junin in Disc 1 is when you can technically encounter her, but that is also the lowest encounter rate.
But like you can just keep on going and she'll show up wherever on the overworld.
As long as you're in a forest.
Oh, as long
As long as you're in a forest.
Okay.
In a
Yes.
forest, yeah.
All right. Cloud, we just had
Not the
one of
time,
our
man.
friends die
Whew, I'm parched.
Yeah, I need a
pretty dramatically.
Best friends
I
died,
need a
LOL.
moment, Ted. I'm having a moment. Okay.
Can you get me some Cheetos out of that vending machine?
This was Jesse's favorite drink, you know?
Now, for this part, I broke my trend of actually showing what kind of materia and equipment setup I'm doing, but that was because with the time I spent faffing about menus here, the
Wait,
part
what
was
the
like
fuck?
42
Wait.
minutes long.
Wait, what the hell was that random screaming?
That was
that
Barret.
was Barrett's battle cry.
Okay, it didn't sound like Barret because it was not like dignified or manly at all. It sounded like a teenage boy having some private time in his room.
He sounds like that when he's yelling. Unfortunately, not every man can have a dignified scream.
I wasn't feeling your no.
Is this where Barrett loses the shades permanently? Or is it
Yes.
just, they're just off for now?
Yeah.
Well, he gets another pair later.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, Barret intends to get an Avengers cameo, I see. Planning on Fury kicking the bucket pretty soon, I imagine? Interesting.
Oh, that's right. You can access the menu at any time during this.
Yeah, if you
Little
hold
exchange.
square during any cutscene, it'll automatically go into the menu, so you can change your layout before a fight starts.
Yeah. In the original game, they just gave you a prompt to
Do that, yeah.
switch your items and all that before the battle. And this is something they changed for the remake because originally you just fought Reno here. But now it's a 2-on-1. Oh no, it's like a double battle against.
Well, you
this-
fought them
Reno.
you fought them individually already, so it makes sense to kind of up the ante by having you fight both at this point.
Yeah, but of course they use the fact that this is different to have another instance of the Whispers trying to keep everything on track.
Which I'm surprised that, which didn't mean just whisking Rude away because Rude had nothing to do with this cutscene in the original
This
game.
is the last time you see them, though, really, until the end of Disc 1, right?
Sort of.
No.
Well, I mean, the
It's-
end of the
you can-
Midgar section, sorry.
In terms of the original game, yes.
I mean, when
Yeah.
you consider it, this is an interesting case of the butterfly effect. You see, because Reno now has a grudge against Cloud, he doesn't push the button right away. Instead, he gets himself to the point of pressing the button and
to instigate Cloud.
yeah, and then leaves the button unpressed during the boss fight. So when they lose, Avalanche actually had a chance of preventing this from happening, which is why the Whispers had to wind up butting in again.
Yeah, because Reno was really no nonsense in this part in the original game. Like, he just pushed the button.
You know, press the button. I press the button.
It's really fun to think about the plate falling sequence in Remake, because there are so many places where, had the Whispers not intervened, things would have gone very differently, and it would be interesting to play one of the timelines where it did. but the Whispers didn't let us do that. If it's a tease for what kind of changes to expect in future episodes, then it's an effective one, assuming that that players pause and think about it for 20 seconds. Which, to be fair, not very many of them probably did the first time they played.
I don't know, I just feel like it's more effective for an end-of-game boss fight to fight both of the recurring villains, as opposed to just one of them and leaving one of them alone.
Oh yeah, but we're also going to fight both of these guys again later.
Oh, okay, then
Yeah,
never mind.
they're obviously going to appear in future games as well.
Well,
so.
I mean, do you fight them again later in part 1 of the remake?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Then never mind. My point has no merit.
There's a boss encounter on the way up the plate that wasn't in the original game, where we fight both Reno and Rude, and then Heligunner, who was originally the boss you fought on the elevator. They kind of split that double boss up into 2 separate bosses in 2 separate locations.
Yeah.
Probably because trying to get the elevator boss fight to work in an action game was a lost cause.
It would just be really weird to set up given the new battle system.
Yeah.
Or they tried anyway, instead of epic music, it's just do 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 do.
Because that's real. The elevator sequence in the original game only works because it was a turn-based battle system.
Yeah.
Battle
Yeah.
system,
If you
'Cause otherwise
wanted
it's
it
just
to
ridiculous.
be like a realistic elevator, it would need to be, like, you know, it wouldn't be big enough for anybody, but like a close one-on-one fight.
Oh yeah, those elevators grew like 5 times in size.
Yes, they did.
And like even stretching it, like the biggest elevator I can think of in an elevator sequence in a game is probably Streets of Rage 4, where it's a pretty big ass elevator, but even still it didn't take up a whole screen.
I mean,
in game.
if you want a semi-realistic elevator battle sequence in a modern game, it needs to be something large like a cargo elevator.
yeah, pretty much.
Anyway,
He
so
looks annoying to fight.
yes, Reno and Rude are actually quite a bit harder than their previous boss fights. They're generally a lot less easy to stagger and stumble in this one. And then you've got Rude up top in his helicopter for the first half of the goddamn fight. Anyway, in this battle, only Rude is actually weak to poison, but both can be poisoned. So I recommend doing that.
Any bit of chip damage helps, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, especially on hard mode.
I always appreciate when bosses can be affected by status effects, because
I do too.
most games, particularly a lot of Final Fantasy games, I feel like the status effects just seem worthless against bosses.
It's more that usually bosses are unique to one particular status effect and nothing else.
But you also still have to fish for it, assuming you're not using scan
Yeah.
or anything
Or-
like that.
or
And,
a
and
guide or
if we're talking older Final Fantasies, it's just a matter of does the spell actually fucking
Yeah,
work?
thankfully in Final Fantasy VII Remake, the assess command does tell you what status effects a particular boss is resistant or immune to, so you can check that stuff in there. The problem is, are you used to using status effects to the point where you have the relevant materia equipped in this game? I recommend you get used to it because the status effects can be handy, especially late game when you have more MP to throw around.
Well, you replenish MP after every fight. In this
No,
game,
it actually slowly takes up during the fight.
during the fight, okay.
But only during the fight. It's not like Final Fantasy XII where you can run around in circles for 10 minutes and replenish all your MP between every battle. I was that guy.
I got time to kill.
Well, that's generally in old school RPGs the reason why status effects are worth your time, because if you think about it in such a sense where there's 2 options when you're fighting a random encounter. You could either A, heal all the damage you take after the fight, or B, put the enemies to sleep and prevent the damage in the first place.
Yeah.
If the sleep spell is 8 NP and it costs 15 to heal everybody afterwards, you're saving NP in the long run by using the status effect. That's why it's important to use it.
Yeah.
there. In a game like this, where NP is a more fluid resource, it's not as important for status effects because of that reason. There has to
Yeah.
be some other reason to do it. Like, I guess in an action game, you can make it so if they get poisoned, they move slower.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to hit them or something.
I particularly like the way Persona 5 Royal handles it, where they have what's called technical hits. These kind of existed in the original P5, but they're a lot more prominent in Royal. Basically, when you've rendered an enemy vulnerable with various kinds of status effects, then depending on what status effect they have, different other elements will cause immediate boosted damage and critical hits on them, which, among other things, gives you another way to knock an opponent down and get one mores. And there are ways to upgrade your party's collective ability to inflict technical hits by playing pool, of all things. Yeah, billiards. That's how they do that.
You know,
Why?
you hit the... That's another one where the ball goes into the ball place. And you even hit it with the stick. See, sports are bullshit. It's all the same game over and over again.
Although I kind of...
Sports ball.
I prefer... I wouldn't exactly call billiards a sport so much as a tabletop game, but...
Listen, if NASCAR can be a sport, then billiards sure as hell can.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, hold the phone. Jessie being knocked by a grenade doesn't kill her, but Rude getting a fucking helicopter slammed on top of him, he's totally fine.
Well, he managed to dodge, and he just got better.
No, he didn't. He didn't dodge. That thing literally landed right on top of him.
That was a bit of debris, actually, I think.
I call bullshit on that. Like, no way.
Look, none of this
He's fine
is
after that happens.
Okay, we've established already via Advent Children that the characters in this fucking universe are made of adamantium. But
Then why is Jessie dying to one measly grenade? Those things do like 300 damage.
Adamantium.
no, she said they were her own special like creations.
Yeah. And because she is the creation, she's the creator of the weapon, that means she has inherent immunity to it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not how that works.
It absolutely
Oh,
is
you
how
only
that
played the
works.
console version of Dragon Age. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, listen, name an enemy that uses fire-type attacks that is not resistant to fire-type moves.
So in the original Dragon Age Origins on PC, friendly fire was very much a thing as far as traps and spells were concerned. You could turn it off on the lower difficulties, but because the console version was a bit fiddly as far as getting people into precise positions and all, because you didn't have the overhead tactical view, they just turned off friendly fire for the normal mode. So you didn't have to worry about it in normal mode on the console version. So basically, you got a really easy version of the game if you played it on consoles. And it was easy because in the console version, whenever you try to send your party members more than a certain distance away from the character you're controlling, they just give up and go back to where you are. Even in the middle of battle, it's really annoying. Ooh,
Okay.
Okay.
Just me and my casual buddy Satan there,
Satine.
taking care of some Turks. This is a good memory.
Let's see that ID there, bub. Lou Cypher. Okay, seems legit. Carry on.
So, Reno is, in this instance, weak to fire. Rude is weak to poison. So, Ifrit is the summon to call out here. But it's also a good idea to have more than one person with the bio spell so that you can stagger Rude more easily.
I believe wind elemental attacks also increase Rude's stagger as well.
They might. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, hold on. If you're gonna, here's another question then. If you're gonna say that, Reno dodged the debris from the helicopter, Rude was in the frickin' thing when it crash landed in the
Yeah, but Rude's tough.
And Jessie
That is
isn't. She's
literally
wearing
like a-
full plate armor.
Yeah, but Rude doesn't need the armor. That's how tough he is.
Oh, because he's got what the sunglasses provide.
The sunglasses broke. Yeah, the sunglasses broke the sunglasses broke the fall.
His Turk suit is plus 20 defense.
And the
Yes.
armor's what, like plus 9
3.
or okay?
No, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. It was Reno you stole the tough ring from in the original game. Not Rude.
Isn't he wearing gloves? So like what? You take his glove off, grab the ring off of his hand.
He was going to propose to Rude, and you took the ring.
Oh, they're cute.
You're an asshole.
They're a cute couple. Oh, I feel bad.
Right before Rude has a chance to punch me in the face. Just bam.
Thanks, Ifrit.
Hey, Ifrit, not so close to the bomb.
Don't worry about it.
It looks like Ifrit took out Reno. Nice.
So wait, that means that Ifrit stole your XP, the dick.
You want to talk about kill stealing? Wait until we get to part 41. Anyway.
Ooh, I can't wait. so late for now.
How do I computor?
Listen, just hit the buttons randomly until it fixes itself.
We did it. We saved the day. Well, it's a computer, so you usually press a lot of buttons.
Oh, he's out. And Rude's just
or
like,
is he?
well, fuck, I guess it's up to me.
Wow, Barret, your aim suddenly sucks.
Well, I mean, it's a big, heavy Gatling gun, and it doesn't even have iron sights, so... Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, he has to just eyeball it.
I mean, given a few seconds, he can just adjust his aim based on where his bullets are landing and get things that way. So he doesn't really need to be a sharpshooter with this weapon, but... Yep, Rude got it. +1 Rude cool points.
Yeah, super cool, murdering a million people.
That's okay, they all evacuated.
Oh, so those buildings are abandoned, then you say?
Yes.
Good
Thank
thing
God
those
they dropped the plate.
buildings are
Thank
abandoned.
God they
It's a
dropped
good
this
thing we
plate on a
saved
Sunday.
so many lives down here, but, you know, the people up top are fucked. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We were so close to changing the future, too. It is interesting that they decided to have Sung talk to you via computer monitor this time.
See, hold on a second. Hold on a fucking second. We were just talking about how we needed to see more battle damage on Jessie to convince us that she's Look at their faces. Look at their bodies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those guys are fine. Jesse just rolled into the dirt for 30 seconds.
Plus 20 defense suit.
Yeah, the suit, but not their faces. I'm just saying, it's like if you have the means to show the detail, to say like, yeah, these guys are hurt.
It's interesting that they changed this so that Sung is talking to you from a computer monitor instead of, well, a helicopter, like a jackass.
Yeah.
Sung is monologuing and just the helicopter blades just drown out his way. It's like, what?
Like, I realize why they did that, because having a helicopter in 3D talking to you was both an effective, like, tone setter for the game's more techno vibes and also fairly impressive for early PlayStation 1. But, you know.
They also got rid of the slap, I noticed. Because I think the splotch under Aerith's eye is just dirt.
Wait,
I thought it was a black eye at first.
Aerith in the original?
Zen slaps. In the original game, this right here, you see Aerith is kidnapped by Zen because they're right above the characters in a helicopter before they fly off and the plate falls. It's just a digital screen here. But Aerith informs Tifa and Barret that, don't worry, she's safe, and then Slyn just gets her to shut up. She fucking slaps her
That's
in the
because,
face.
like, during the compilation, they sort of
Yeah.
redefined Sung's relationship with Aerith to the point
Yes.
where he has one, beyond just some rumor that he has a crush on her. Anyway, like, all the scenes that come after this are really effective, but I don't like how they change this upcoming scene here. Well, I like the way Barret gets them out of here, because it's a really cool badass moment for Barret, and he needs as many of those as he could get, because he was kind of underplayed in the original game. But the scene where the plate falls and President Shinra is watching, like, setting aside the gratuitous Kate Sith cameo,
which kills the moment for me.
Yeah, it makes no sense to do that.
in the original game, they did something very deliberate with the music and the sound in that cutscene that does not happen here. Here they've got this they've got this really generic action movie piece playing. As
Also,
the plate
much higher
falls.
quality CG.
Well, yeah.
Oh, this
there's
is a
that.
Final Fantasy tradition to cut to a CG movie with much higher quality. Like, it wouldn't be a real Final Fantasy game without one of these.
Well, that was what happened in this part at this point in the original game too. But like, okay, in the original game, you see the plate falling from above at one point, right? And
No, fat man must die.
and the camera zooms through the window like this, right?
Gratuitous opera.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Also hi, Kate Sith. Why
Oh
are
yeah,
you here?
that is a really weird Kate Sith cameo.
The opera that was playing in Shinra's office, though, was actually the soundtrack that Shinra himself was listening to while watching this scene. And it was a really effective way of just portraying how cold this guy was.
Yeah. How detached away from humanity he
he's
is.
just standing in his window watching this catastrophe unfold because of his own actions. And he's listening to opera. And he's got soundproofed windows, and it was really effective, and they didn't do it here. They even had him smiling, and that ruins the scene. It's like the one scene in the entire game that they didn't get right, and it bugs me.
Yeah, I gotta have to say, they dropped the plate on that.
That's one way to put it.